Welcome back to the Cabbage Patch. I'm Dad.
I'm Tommy.
And I'm Gus.
And what do we play today? Space Marine Adventures
Doomsday
Countdown. This is the fourth Warhammer game that comes in these bookcase games that we played. It's the third Space Marine Adventure games. We played Rise of the Necrons. Labyrinth of the Necrons, Rise of the Orcs. But we've also played Warhammer Age of Sigmar Crypt Hunters, and that's probably the closest in setup to this one. In the first two Space Marine Adventure games, the bad guys didn't have models. This one does. So he's got cool Chaos Cultist models that we have to fight.
And kill.
And it's set up more like Crypt Hunters with a randomly generated dungeon map made of these tiles, but it's all set up at once.
Yeah, and if you lose sight of your teammates,
the map doesn't fall off. Yeah, absolutely, the map doesn't fall off, which is an interesting feature of Crypt Hunters. So the goal of the game is you've got these three Space Marines. They've got to get to part of the map and get the keys to the Doomsday device
to stop it from happening.
And then they got to take those keys to the Doomsday device and plug them in, and then they got to get out of the base via the elevator.
And they can also seal up these things.
Well, they also have to seal off those things.
Which stop bad guys from coming out.
So the bad guys spawn. So you lay out the dungeon map randomly. The bad guys spawn on these green tiles here. And they're not always right next to you since the map is laid out randomly. They spawn there, and if they can't spawn there, then they spawn other places. And then as they reinforce through the game, much like Crypt Hunters, they come in from the corners and from the empty hallways. Marines get 3 actions. You can watch the playthrough to see how the playthrough goes and how the setup goes. And it's pretty fast. It only lasts 20 turns. So the game only plays for about a half an hour. Right? So it goes really fast.
That is speedy.
And each Marine gets a turn. Then the bad guys so a Marine gets a turn, and not each Marine, one Marine gets a turn. So Tommy goes, does his stuff, shoots some guys, moves around. Then the bad guys go, and then the bad guys get reinforcements, and then one of the other Marines goes again. And once all 3 of us is gone, we reset and we do it all over again. But each time a Marine goes, the turn counter goes down. And we made it to about turn 8 before we finally actually won. But when we won, who won?
Me.
You were the only player left. So Tommy escaped. Gus and I got killed. But it was pretty cool. So it's a fast game. There's a little bit of dice rolling for the attacks. There's cards that you get that give you better abilities through the game, but you only get to use them once. And the bad guys are programmed by these action cards that you turn over and randomly shuffle, so that on any given turn, the bad guys could just move, or they could attack, then move, or they could move, then attack, or a couple of other things conditions might have. So it's a little bit like Gloomhaven, in that the bad guys act differently based on the card that gets flipped over. And that's it. It's a pretty straightforward dungeon crawler with Space Marines and machine guns. They are bolt guns, actually. They run through the dungeon, they do their thing, and then they try to get out. What did you think of it? What was your favorite part?
My favorite part was the dungeon crawling.
Yeah?
Yeah.
In what way?
I really liked how
we got there.
You had to progress through, and then bad guys spawn.
And the bad guys would spawn. Right. It was a little unfair that our map laid out where the spawns were right next to where we started, so we didn't get any time to plan or attack.
Like a lot of games, it depends on luck.
It depends a little bit of luck with the shooting, but we have cards that you can help you do that, and abilities that help us do interesting things, like re-rolling 1s and 2s to try to get a better roll. What about you, Tommy? What did you like about it?
I like that it's randomly generated and how seamlessly the things can fit together.
Yeah?
I also really like the models.
The models are really cool. The bad guy models are pretty cool. I didn't, they're different. The heavy and the specialist are have special abilities that never really seem to come into play. So the specialist, when he fires his grenade launcher, it's supposed to target everybody in the thing. We ended up kind of mowing through the bad guys pretty quickly, so the specialist never actually got to shoot.
Perfect.
The heavy just is a little better at shooting, and the commander. We actually didn't do the commander right when we played. The commander takes 2 wounds. So we did that a little wrong. So that would be a rule to remember: is read the character ability
pretend
cards.
that we had super bolters.
Yeah, so we'll pretend that, but it didn't. I don't think it mattered too much. I don't think it would have mattered too much because we were. I don't think it would have mattered too much.
He would have died if I stepped on him either way.
Yeah, he would have died if he stepped on me either way, because each of the Marines get a special ability. So yeah, so each of the bad guys has a slightly special ability. Each of the Marines has a special ability. I guess the important thing there is to remember to read the bottom of the card because we messed up the commander. And that's it. New bad guys spawn every turn. You only have 20 turns to get the game done, which is all the way down and all the way out. And that's it. Did you like it?
Yeah.
All right. Well, so anything to add before we do the score?
No.
All right. What are you going to give it, Thomas?
A 2. Acceptable 2.
I'll give it a 2. I was almost going to give it a 1, but I really like Warhammer games. It's a solid dungeon crawler. I like Age of Sigmar a little better. I think I like Rise of the Orcs a little better than this for a Space Marine game. We still have one more Space Marine game to play, so we'll see if that's any better. This isn't as good as I was hoping. So, but I'll stick with it too. So we'll give it 6 cabbages.
I like this a lot better than Age of Sigmar.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
There's no. You can split up without many consequences.
Yeah, but that's what I liked about Age of Sigmar. So, I liked the dungeon would fall away, and you could use that to your advantage. All right, well that's good to know. So, but I'm going to give it a 2. We'll stick with a 6. So 6 cabbages, pretty solidly even dungeon crawler, with Space Marines, and I do like Space Marines. Gus died, I died, and Tommy got to the elevator and escaped. So we had a bloody victory or something like that is what it was called. Yep. All right. Well, if that's it, then
Let's give it an outro.
let's give it the outro. You ready to go?
Yep.
Subscribe, like, hit the bell, Tommy.
Leave a comment if you wish,
Eat plenty of cabbages, not us though.
because we will be branded a heretic.
Alright, goodbye.